Muy buenas, soy Sigiloco Games, estamos aquí en el Dragon Age Origins, continuando la historia donde dejamos el último video. Y vamos a proseguir, estamos aquí en el castillo de Disco Rojo, ya con el Imam curado. Y lo siguiente vamos a hacer es, como siempre, irnos de aquí. Y bueno, vamos a ir a nuestro campamento y vamos a vender y comprar algunas cosas. Aquí están los soldaditos. Vámonos aquí. Bueno, la primera que vamos a hacer es ir a Denering. Como siempre, falta ver las peleas.
Darkspawn approach.
Listo. Vamos a coger rápidamente todas estas cosas. Y listo. Vámonos aquí. Vamos rápidamente por acá. Y aquí tenemos varias misiones que completar.
Magic exists to serve man and never.
Aquí una.
The client is very pleased. Come back soon.
Y listo. A ver qué tiene. No hay más.
I was getting to that part.
Ok, por aquí. Nada. Y por último.
Nice to see you again. Really? Oh, pardon my incredulity. I would like to examine them in any event. Let me see. The scrolls are old, no question, and the script. It's written in cipher. Early believers used them to keep their writings safe from the Divinter Magus. These could be authentic. Please, let me examine it. If you are a charlatan, may the Maker have mercy upon you. There is avarice in your eyes, but I believe you. Inner ruins, you say? I can give you 5 sovereigns. If these prove to be genuine, we can discuss more substantial payment afterwards. I need parchment, quill, and ink. What was the trick to the cipher again? Ah. I examined your scrolls. I know a few of the early Chantry ciphers, but I'm not fully familiar with this one. The bits I have made out. This may be an account of Maferath's final days, and perhaps more. I know. It's remarkable. The same Maferath who betrayed our prophet and saw her burn alive in Minrath Rus. If we could get a real translation, well, it could be the find of our lifetime. finish decoding it, absolutely, but it will not be easy. It could take months. The ciphers were designed to be difficult for the Magisters to decrypt. Who knows what secrets we can uncover, what truths we can find. Here is all of the allowance I have for acquisitions. Take it and go. 1,000 blessings.
Y listo. Así obtenemos bastante dinero. Vamos a ver aquí.
So much to do.
As there is but one world.
Siguiente.
One life, one
Siguiente misión. Vamos por acá. A ver si tienen algunas cosas.
Orvin, welcome
Sí, sí.
back.
Sí, eso ya sabemos. Y no. Pero bueno, podemos vender aquí cosas. Vamos a vender todas estas cosas de aquí. A ver, esto. Chau. 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 Ya. Y aquí. Esto. Esto. Eso no. Eso no. ¿Qué más aquí? A ver, esto no. Casco de cuero sí. Esto sí. Sí. Esto no. Esto sí. Tres camas sí. Botas de cuero sí. Otras camas no. Sí. Todo esto de aquí no me sirve. Esta es buena, pero no nos sirve para nadie. Escudo de Winter, sí. Ese de ahí no. Y ese de aquí. Dejemos ahí. H sí. Field Fe no. Daga sí. No sé si. Eso no. Eso no. Esto sí. Y eso no. A ver. Listo. Eso sí nos sirve para otras partes. Y de momento vamos a dejarlo ahí. Vamos a ir por acá. Vamos a ver nuestras misiones. Tenemos esto. Favorecer grupos. Cerca del lago Calejan. Este ya creo que hice. Solo me falta Brian. Bueno, eso es para después. ¿Cuánto necesitamos aquí? Sí, eso es para después, mucho después. Ya. Tenemos el grimorio de Fleme, el espada de Becerán. Eso lo hacemos después. Supresión de acción. Acción de fácil. Ya. Esto aquí no tenemos nada. Vámonos. Entramos aquí.
Right.
Aquí vamos a guardar.
welcome back. You looking for fine armor?
Primero vamos a ver qué tiene la venta.
Certainly.
Y si es que tiene algo interesante, le compramos. Si no, no. Por ejemplo, este tiene este de aquí, que es muy bueno en realidad, pero cuesta también bastante. Y también tiene esta que dejaron un ratito aquí. Vamos a poner Liliana. Ah, no, ahora que tengo puestas es mejor. Bueno, yo. Lo malo es que esta armadura no tiene. A ver. Fatiga. Mucho menos fatiga. Pero no. Aquí nada. Y listo. Ya, si no hacemos nada de aquí, si no compramos nada de esto, podemos hacer la siguiente parte. hablamos.
Welcome back. You looking for fine armor? Of course.
He's back! He's back! Have you reconsidered? I can make such fine armor with your scales.
Mhm.
I'd stake my life on it, friend.
Where is your humility when we really need it?
It will take however long it takes. You don't rush a masterpiece, my good man.
Yes, that's right. It could take months, years even. You should just leave.
It won't take that long, Heren. Unless I did some inlays of... Oh, I know.
Yes, it wouldn't be complete without the, inlays. Of course, the customer would have to agree. Yes, like the customer said, very quick. We have other orders.
They can wait. We're making art here.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Y listo. Bueno, y lo que tenemos que hacer es salir y entrar.
On it.
Listo. Entramos otra vez.
Bishop.
Ya está.
You're here about your order? I am very, very pleased to say it's done.
And it's garbage. I wouldn't let a festering swine wear it.
Wade, it's amazing. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Are you blind as well as stupid? The leg guards are too tight. It'll chafe. The dye isn't even... Look here. I see a splotch. It's garbage, I say.
It's fine. Truly. It's a work of art. Here, wear it well. Now kindly leave.
Y bueno, aquí vamos otra vez.
You bring more scales? I want to try again. I've learned so much.
Wade, please leave the customer alone. How can I help you? You must be kidding. We're done. No.
Heren, more scales. I can make another set.
Dear Andraste, no.
I've been thinking every night about what I'd do different. It's all in my head. Dear Heren, don't worry. I can make it faster this time.
You can?
You worry too much. Just give me the scales, friend, and I'll have my finest work for you.
Y aquí están las escamas.
I'll just close the shop until he's done. Thank you so much. Rotten bastard.
Y por eso comprar, porque ya no podemos comprar nada aquí. Bueno, aquí hay que salir otra vez y entrar. Vamos otra vez.
On it.
Listo.
We're closed. Oh, it's you.
The Drake scale armor is done. And it's, well, decent. Few things I'm rather proud of.
You'd better be very proud, Wade. We can't afford any more flights of fancy.
I feel good, actually. I wouldn't mind working on Lord such-and-such's armor today.
We'll see how long this lasts. Here's your armor. Now please leave.
Listo. Vámonos de aquí.
Right.
Y bueno, tenemos dos armaduras. Y vamos a hacer algo con ellas. Sí. Pero primero, irnos a nuestro campamento y hablar con nuestros compañeros. Necesitamos más información. Acá. Listo. Nuestro inventario. Tenemos aquí a ver. No. Vais a hacer un... Tenemos una sortija helada. No. No. Es así. Exactamente. Voy a ponerle esta. Notas de juegos superiores. Con superiores. Y listo. Y ya. No tenemos más. Obviamente si pagamos si pagamos por nuestra armadura, podemos hacer una armadura potente, una armadura pesada, que nos dará más, más resistencia al fuego y cosas así. Pero esto es lo que nos dan si es que hacemos eso así. Y no está nada mal, así que de momento todo bien. Aquí la liana. Eso no. No. Ahora este de aquí. No. Aquí. No. Ahí estamos bien. Listo. Vamos a guardar algunas cosas. Vamos a guardar. No, esto vamos a vender. Esto vamos a guardar. Esto vamos a guardar. Guardar. Esto vamos a vender, vender. Sí, vender. A ver, aquí que tenemos. Esto vamos a guardar, esto vamos a guardar. Esto vamos a ponerle a Morrigan. Esto vamos a ponerle a... Esto... Estas cosas guardemos. Bueno, estos anillos son... A ver. Anillo de fe, no. Anillo de plata, vender. Sí, así. Esto. Vale, esto guardar. Esto. Esto hay que regalar. Estamos aquí, aquí. Un lingote de oro pequeño. Listo. Aquí creo que hay un hidromiel. No, eso ya. Está igual, ¿verdad? Esto dejémoslo ahí. Listo. Vamos a vender cosas.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road. I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
A ver, vamos a vender esto, ahora esto, sí. Eso no. Esto sí. Vamos a vender. Estos son regalar, no. Sí, ya. Está todo. Voy a ponerle inventario Morrigan. Ponerle esto. A este le faltan unos zapatos. De nada. A ver. A este le falta un anillo. Este vamos a ponerle aquí. Realmente pequeño. Eso. Exactamente. Eso es mucho mejor. Listo. Aquí ya está todo bien. Sí. A ver, yo. ¿Y qué tiene aquí? Tiene un fuego, flecha flamingera. Listo. Por aquí. A ver. Para. Shale. Lingote de oro pequeño.
I'm to keep this, am I? Fine.
Vamos a poner aquí estén. Los estén. Eso.
You have my thanks. Unexpected. Thank you.
Listo. Hace Bran, está aquí.
That smell. This is uneven leather, isn't it? I would know that anywhere. I don't know how you knew I was missing my homeland, but this does the trick nicely. Thank you. Now, if only you could find me a prostitute or two, a bowl of fish chowder, and a corrupt politician, I'd really feel like I was home. And the feet as well. Marvelous.
Listo. Vamos aquí. Adriana. Está bien. Wine. Vamos a ver si es que le gustan estas cosas.
Most kind.
¿No? A ver, aquí más, aquí más. Hace Bran.
How nice. How nice.
Listo. A ver, eso está bien. Botas de cuero superiores de güey. What the fuck? Ah. Pero igual no. Ahí. Eso. Bueno, esto vamos a guardar. Aquí. A ver, no. Aquí, eso. Aquí, eso. ¿Todo está bien aquí? Sí. ¿Todo está bien aquí? Sí. Ahora sí. Guardamos. Y ahora sí vamos a hablar con Shale.
It speaks. It doesn't have better things to do. That is true. I do not. I'm not interested in getting into a discussion on the subject, however. Ask another time. If it is done asking overly obvious questions, let us find some humans to throw off a cliff, or something. It speaks.
Bueno, eso creo que se activa más luego, así que no importa. Vamos. Aquí nos falta. A ver, Morgan ya está. Alistair ya está. Sten ya está. Elena ya está. Solo falta Sebran y Wine. Vamos aquí, Wine.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome. Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken. Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done. Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise.
A ver.
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower? Ah, yes, Connor, of course. The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most. One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone. Replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say. Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity. Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
Listo. Guardemos. Sigamos hablando.
So, tell me, how did you become a Grey Warden? Arl Rendon Howe? The Arl of Amaranthine? Why would he do such a thing to you? You are the last of the Kuslands? I had no idea. My lord? Yes, I suppose so. You can no longer have a title, can you? But that does not mean you must forget utterly where you came from. Take heart, dear friend. You survived, even when you were not expected to. We do not know yet what lies in store for you, or the name you carry. It is not so bad, is it, being a Grey Warden? Sometimes it gives me comfort to think that everything will end up the way it's supposed to. That it will be all right. You were chosen. You survived the joining when others did not. Perhaps it was meant to be.
Listo.
I must ask, what does being a Grey Warden mean to you? There's that, of course. But there's more to being a Grey Warden than killing Darkspawn and saving the world from the Blight. Ultimately, being a Grey Warden is about serving others. About serving all people, whether elves or dwarves or men. As a Grey Warden, you are a guardian of men. And you guard them because their continued existence is more important than you are. Thus it is you who serves, not they. A good king, a true king who cares for his land, uses his power to rule firmly but fairly. He serves his people first and foremost. The king who does not do this, who believes that he is entitled to his power, who abuses it, and uses it for his own means, is a tyrant. But we are not talking about how you came by the power, but what you do with it afterwards. If you live apart from others, and your actions affect only you, then you may do as you wish. But if you have power, influence, and strength, your every action will be as a drop of water in a clear, still pond. The drop causes ripples, and ripples spread. Think of how far they will go, how wide they will become, how will they affect the pond. But I've lectured enough for today. I should stop before I wear out my welcome. You're quite taken with each other, aren't you? I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. She is a cunning woman, a Maleficar. She will use you for her own ends. That is some consolation, at least. Just remember to be wary. You are a Grey Warden. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires. Love is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. you may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do? Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this. I am just trying to minimize the suffering that may come to either of you. I have given my advice. Do with it what you will. What's on your mind? Oh, yes, and thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better today. Well, thank you for your kindness, my dear. It certainly warms these rickety old bones. What's on your mind? Is something troubling you? A Grey Warden should put aside the person that he used to be. It has shaped the person that he is, but he has become something greater. Grey Wardens have no titles. They owe no allegiance to a king or lord. They cannot serve one people. They must serve them all and protect them all. You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight. And that gives me hope.
Listo. Recuperando todo.
Have you heard much about the Grey Wardens of old? It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white griffins was enough to rouse a weary heart and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful, feared and respected, but they also inspired the common people. I remember a tale that was told to me many years ago. The Blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above, it illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums, and stood before the armies of men. That's not the point of the tale. The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the archdemon was dead, and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back, and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled. This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden.
Listo.
What's on your mind? No, you won't. I don't think so either. You would not have been happy living a dull, uneventful life, dying in obscurity. You wonder sometimes, don't you? if your life would be better if you weren't who you are. When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have. It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers. I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish. I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same. The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness. No, I wouldn't. As I mentioned, I once thought the same thing of someone else. You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
Volvemos aquí.
What's on your mind? I will answer to the best of my ability. I would be lying if I said it was easy. First, there were rules, and we were constantly watched to make sure we behaved appropriately. Then there was the study of magic. We had to cast the spells just so, control the effects completely. A single word spoken incorrectly, a gesture out of sync, and lack of focus. And we needed to have perfect focus, or we would be in danger. Without the circle and my mentors, I would not have been where I am today. And there was joy in life at the circle. The joys of fellowship, in knowing that you were not alone in your struggles. In spite of everything, I was happy in the tower, and I loved it. People don't become mages, they are born mages. The talent just surfaces later. But you are asking how I ended up at the circle. I was brought there by the Templars, just like many of the other apprentices. I don't remember very much. I was very young then. I didn't have a family. I never knew my real parents. My earliest memory was of hiding in a hayloft on a farm, trying to keep warm. I was found, and the farmer's wife was kind enough not to send me away. But they had children of their own, and I was never made to feel welcome. The eldest son was the worst. He was always calling me a stray, and throwing anything he could get his hands on at me. And I don't know how it happened, but one day, he just found his hair on fire. Fortunately, there was a large trough nearby. And you would have seen yourself trussed up like a festival turkey and paraded about the square for it. Village folk have little love for witches like us. Thankfully, all I had to endure was a few nights locked in a cold barn with a bowl of water and a crust of bread. The Templars arrived several mornings later. One of them ignored me, but the other was kind to me. He gave me sweets and even sat me on his shoulders once when I wanted to look over a high wall that ran along the road. I'll never forget the moment the Templars led me into the entrance hall of the tower. I had never seen anything so grand in my life. I stopped being afraid then. I knew I was home. Well, that's about all there is to my tale. That's how I came to the circle.
Listo.
What's on your mind?
Otra cosa.
I will answer to the best of my ability. The circle is in good hands. Irving knows what to do, and he doesn't need me underfoot. For now, I will support those that battle the Darkspawn. I do feel I left things unfinished in Ostagar. There is so much left to do, and I would be part of it. The Grey Wardens, all 2 of you, need all the help you can get. I will see this through to the bitter end, and after that, if I am still left standing, then I will return to the circle. No, of course I don't. I'm old and unsure of what I'm doing. Actually, I'd rather be in a warm chair in the sun, being served pudding or some other easily digestible food. I know. I was just teasing. The ability to laugh at myself is something I developed too late in life. But to allay your fears, yes, I am sure this is what I want.
Listo.
What's on your mind?
Y nada más.
No trouble.
Vámonos de aquí. Mira tú. Bueno, lo siguiente que vamos a hacer es ir aquí. Y aquí en su nivel. Tenemos Morrigan. Listo. Ponerle. A ver, Morrigan. Voy a ponerle esto. Esto. Voy a ponerle. Dormir, pesadilla. A ver. Voy a ponerle. Esto. Los magos es más complicados. Persevran. Constitución, destreza, astucia. Aquí. Mira, aquí no. Aquí. Esto. Shale. Con astucia. Con fuerza. Astucia no creo que necesita. No. Hay que darle la astucia. Voy a ponerle fuerza y destreza. Voy a ponerle esto. Esto. Estén. Voy a ponerle fuerza. La constitución. Está más. Voy a ponerle ahí. Y ahí. Listo. Y esta fuerza. Vamos a ponerle secador. ¿Quién más? Y yo. Ponerle. Listo. Y Nemesis. A ver. Más. Ya están todos, vámonos.
Yes.
Vamos a ponerle a este.
Yes.
Y No, no me sirve, la isla no me sirve ahí. Vamos a ponerle a...
Yes.
Sí, vamos ahí. Vamos a ir aquí. No, aquí. Ah, vamos a... aquí. ¿Cómo no? ¿Listo? Bajamos todas estas cosas.
Let's get started. As you wish.
Cada vez más. Listo.
As you wish.
Vámonos de aquí.
I fell. For a moment there, I thought I thought it was all over. Everything. I will explain everything when we are back at camp. Now is not the time.
Listo. Aquí. Vamos a guardar.
And so you return. Lovely Morrigan has at last found someone willing to dance to her tune. Such enchanting music she plays, wouldn't you say? Which one, I wonder? What has Morrigan told you? What little plan has she hatched this time? That she does. The question is, do you? Ah, but it is an old, old story. One that Flemeth has heard before, and even told. Let us skip right to the ending, shall we? Do you slay the old wretch as Morrigan bids, or does the tale take a different turn? The truth, as if it were nothing. How like a man. No, no. Far better the lie. Far better the comfort of blankets and shadows and a mother's love. Morrigan wishes my grimoire? Take it as a trophy. Tell her I am slain. We believe what we want to believe. It's all we ever do. You get to keep her for a time. I go. Perhaps I surprise Morrigan one day. Or I may simply watch. It would be interesting to see what she does with her freedom. Enlightening, even. Would you give an old woman that? It's far easier this way, don't you think? The lies are always more fun.
Yes, fun. Tricking Morgan. Oh, who am I kidding? That does sound fun. I'm a bad man.
A tangled web you weave, Warden. I hope it's for good cause.
The book is inside the hut, with notes and spells enough to make even Morrigan blush with delight. You and I will not meet again. That I guarantee.
Vamos por acá. Listo. Vámonos. Y vamos al campamento.
I think I owe you an explanation for what happened earlier. You should know that something happened to me at the tower before you came along. You spoke to Petra, did you not? She told you I saved her from a demon. I did, but I did not survive that encounter. No, I'm not undead. If I were a possessed walking corpse and could still think, I'd kill myself. I engaged a very powerful demon to rescue Petra. It sapped me of all my energy and will and left me drained. It took everything I had to defeat it. And when I was done, I no longer had the strength to keep my heart beating. I remember my life ebbing away. Everything receded from me. Sound, light. I remember being enveloped in complete, impenetrable darkness. And then I sensed a presence enfolding me and cradling me, whispering quietly to me. The sensation is impossible to describe. I was being held back firmly but gently, as a mother would a child eager to slip from her grasp. I felt life and warmth flowing through my veins again. I began to be aware of small sounds and the discomfort of my hip pressing into the cold stone of the tower floor. The Fade contains spirits both benevolent and malicious. The benevolent spirits seldom make themselves known, because they want nothing from mortals, unlike the demons. It was one of these spirits that saved me. Without it, I would be dead. And it has not left me. It is with me, even now, bonded to me. You see, I am supposed to be dead. It is the spirit that is keeping me in this world. And this is not the way of things. Perhaps the spirit did not expect this, but it is weakening gradually. I am living on borrowed time. I do not know. I can feel when the spirit weakens, so I should have fair warning. But come, let us not talk about this. There is time yet. What's on your mind? I have always had an affinity for the spirits of the Fade. As a child, I never feared my dreams because I knew they were there. I've always been able to feel the spirits, even if I never saw them. And as I nurtured my talent in the circle, I became more sensitive. I began to notice every time I was in the Fade, whether it was in a dream or in magical practice, that I was being watched. I suppose they must. It is these benevolent spirits that create our dream worlds in the Fade. Sometimes I would see it, a glowing, nebulous form. Most times I would just feel its presence, gentle and comforting, but somehow alien. I think it is a spirit of faith. They have never been seen before, and perhaps I am wrong. But something tells me I'm not. It always felt like the same entity. This one spirit was curious about me, and was guarding me, for want of a better word. There were times when I was in the Fade that it seemed to stretch forth to shield me, keeping me safe. And I think it gave me strength in my most terrible battles, Ostagar being one of them. I don't know why I was chosen. Perhaps it knew that there was something more that lay in store for me. I like to think that I was given a rare chance, and I'm going to make the best of the time so generously given to me. I will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. That is not the death for me. And so I will fight alongside the Grey Warden, and help prepare him for the task that is yet before him. So you had better listen to me, because I swear, if I should fall before the end and you don't seem to be doing things properly, I'll get up again to give you a good finger-wagging. You know, I think you'll be all right, even without my help. What's on your mind? Cure me? What, am I sick now? Even you know that you cannot cure the dead. And I'm not the only one dying. You are too. I'm just more efficient about it. Ah, child. Your concern is heartwarming. But death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear. People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, to go on adventures they only talked about. But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I am content. It is enough. I think I've led a good life, a full life, and I, for one, am not afraid of death, whatever it may bring. They say that when you die, your spirit travels through the Fade and returns to the Maker. And after that, we'll see, won't we? What's on your mind? I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else.
Cuéntame.
Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Anarin. He was my first apprentice. Anarin was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority. What Anarin needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential just to be difficult. Oh, age and wisdom have mellowed me. I was quite different back then. Much more unforgiving. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him. Anarin ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down. The Templars. That is what they do. They hunt down and neutralize rogue mages. They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him. I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed in Anarin. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves. The Templars are well-trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Anarin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student. And there it is. My story, my one greatest regret.
Listo. Tenemos una nueva visión. Y eso es lo que intentábamos conseguir. Y por último, aquí donde Morrigan nos dio un regalito. Exactamente. Morrigan. Ahí está.
Mother's real grimoire, is it? I am glad you were able to find it after all. My thanks for retrieving it. I shall begin studying it immediately and unlock the power that it holds.
Listo. Y eso de nivel. A ver, ¿qué tenemos? Tenemos nada aquí. A ver, ahora sí. De fuerza y una de constitución. Y aquí. Listo. Y por último, hablemos con Morrigan.
I wish to ask a question of you.
Claro que sí.
I wish to know your opinion of love. I would hardly call it nowhere. You and I have been intimate, for one. We have been close for some time now. You are impressive in many ways, and you even protected me from Flemeth without hope of reward. I feel anxious when I look upon you. I dislike this sense of dependency. It is a weakness I abhor. If this is love, I wish to ascertain that you do not feel the same. No, that's not what I'm saying. You need to pay attention. What I'm saying is that I have been foolish. I have allowed myself to become too close. This is a weakness. You are not listening to me. Do not be such a fool. This is for your own good. I am not like other women. I am not worth your distraction, and you are not worth mine. You are impossible. Have it your way, but I will tell you truly now. You will regret it in the end. Your desire? We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
No mine.
Ah, such a romantic, I see.
Listo. Y bueno, ha sido todo por el video. Vamos a dejarlo aquí.